Okay, so let's start talking about the unitary method and how it's used in percentages. Now, please note we've actually really been using the unitary method earlier, and the idea is basically that we are trying to find out what 1 unit means, and that you'll just see an example. So now let's look at this problem. The problem is Sean sells a set of furniture for $3,600. The selling price is 20% more than the cost price. Find the cost price of the set of furniture. So now let's look at this. So what we have here is we have the cost price. So this is some cost price. So whatever it is, we don't know the cost price, but this is the cost price. I'll call it CP. So CP is the cost price. We know that the selling price, here's the selling price, here's the selling price. It's more than the cost price. And how much more than the cost price? Well, it's going to be, so this is how much more it is, and this is 20%. 20% of the cost price, right? So we have to find the cost price. Now we know the selling price is 120% because this we know would be 100% because we are using 20% of the cost price, which means the cost price should also be considered 100%. Okay, so now we know that 120% of cost price is really equal to $3,600. So now we find out what 1% would mean. So 1% would mean 3,600 over $120. And now what would 100% mean? So 100% would mean 3,600 over 120 multiplied by 100. Now this is very easy to compute because 120 goes 30 times. So this is 1 and this is going to be 30. So the answer is going to be $3,000. So the reason why we think of this as the unitary method is because here's the sale price and this is 120% of the cost price, right? So we make 120 small pieces of this. So this was the sale price and we made 120 small pieces and each small piece is worth exactly $30 because 3,600 divided by 120 is $30. So this small piece, each small piece is worth $30. And now we find out that if we have something which is only $100, 100 pieces, so this is about 100 pieces, not 120 pieces like right over here, but only 100 pieces, then we know that we have 100 pieces over here and each piece is worth $30. So that means 100 pieces will be worth $3,000. And the unitary method comes about because we think of what does 1 unit mean, and really in this case we said 1 unit is worth $30, and then we could find out what we wanted to find out based on this basic idea that 1 unit is worth $30. So let's do another problem and hopefully it will be clearer. So let's say a piece of blouse is there was a sale and the price of the blouse was reduced by 15%. It was sold for $17. Find the usual price of the blouse. So now here we go. So again we're going to do the same thing. So we're going to draw a bar and this is the usual price of the blouse. So this is going to be 100%, right? So that means there'll be 100 small pieces in here. Now I'm going to reduce the price of the so this is the actual price, usual price. I'll call it UP as the usual price. But now the sale price, so the price on sale is a bit less. It is 15% less. So this is what it's less. So this amount is going to be, this portion is 15%. So since this portion is 15%, I know this portion has to be 85% because 85% plus 15% would make 100%. So now I know that 85%, by 85%, what I mean is I'm really breaking this up into 85 small pieces. Okay. So now if I have 85% means $17. So then one of these small pieces, 1%, so here there's one small piece which is 1% out of the 85 pieces. There were 85 pieces, so 1% would mean 17 over 85 because all pieces have equal weight. And now I want to find out what 100% is. Well, for 100%, I just have to multiply 17 over 85 by 100, and this is very easy because I know that 17 fives are 85, and then I can cancel off the 5 with a 20, so I'll be left with $20, and that's the answer.